Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're going to get into some really interesting, I think, ideas about societal programming and how it shapes our identities.
Okay.
So we're going to be looking at a video essay today, and it's inspired by the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't heard of him, he was a philosopher who really challenged conventional thinking about the self. And I think he had some pretty groundbreaking ideas.
Yeah, Krishnamurti was really all about questioning like everything.
Okay.
Especially those beliefs that we have about ourselves that are like so deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
He suggested that, a lot of what we think makes us us
Right.
might actually be like external programming
Okay.
that we've absorbed from society
I see.
without even realizing it.
Yeah, and the video opens with a really powerful statement, and it says, and I'm quoting this directly, "Everything you think you are is a lie."
Right.
I mean, talk about a way to grab your attention.
Yeah.
So, but is some level of societal influence like inevitable? I mean, we do need some structure, right?
Absolutely.
How do we differentiate between guidance that's helpful and programming that's actually harmful?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's true, we don't exist in a vacuum.
Right.
But I think Krishnamurti's point is to make us more aware
Okay.
of the forces that are shaping our beliefs and behaviors.
Right.
So, for example, think about advertising. It constantly plays on our insecurity
Yeah.
to sell us things that we don't actually need.
Okay.
Or think about how many people are pushed towards, safe career paths
Right.
instead of pursuing their true passions.
Yeah.
These are very subtle ways that fear is used to kind of steer us toward conformity.
Wow. I see what you mean, because the video highlights how our ambitions are often like imposed on us, and we end up chasing dreams that aren't even really ours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we develop this fear of stepping outside societal norms.
Right.
This anxiety about not being accepted.
Yep.
And we end up constantly seeking validation from external sources instead of looking within.
That makes me think about how afraid people are of being judged. Like, why do we care so much
Right.
about what other people think?
Well, I think it's programmed into us.
Okay.
Think about it from a young age.
Yeah.
We're rewarded for fitting in, and we're kind of punished for standing out.
Right.
So it's no wonder that we develop this deep-seated need for approval.
I see. And this all ties into Krishnamurti's call to like question everything, right?
Exactly.
He wants us to peel back those layers of conditioning and uncover our authentic self.
Precisely. It's about examining our beliefs, our motivations,
Yeah.
and even like our personal history.
Yeah, okay.
It's asking ourselves, is this truly me?
Right.
Or is this something that I've been, programmed to believe?
But that sounds pretty daunting. The video even talks about the discomfort
Oh, yeah.
and the fear that can come with this kind of self-exploration.
Absolutely. Imagine you've built this identity.
Yeah.
The sense of self based on what you've been told is important.
Okay.
And then you start questioning everything.
Right.
And that identity
Yeah.
begins to crumble.
Oh, wow.
And you're left with this void, this uncertainty. And that can be terrifying
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
I can see that. So it's like we're clinging to these comfortable lies about ourselves,
Right.
even if they're making us unhappy.
Yeah.
Because the alternative, like confronting the truth, is just too scary.
It can be. Yeah.
But the video seems to argue that it's in that void,
Okay.
that space of uncertainty,
Right.
where true freedom can actually be found.
Yeah, that's a key point. Krishnamurti believed that true freedom comes from letting go of the need to define ourselves
Okay.
based on those external expectations
Right.
and embracing the unknown.
I see.
He wasn't suggesting we become hermits or reject
Right.
all societal norms.
Yeah.
It's more about, recognizing the influences that have shaped us
Okay.
and deciding which ones actually align with our values.
So how do we even begin to do that? The video doesn't really lay out a step-by-step process.
It doesn't really, no, it's more about cultivating a mindset
Okay.
of constant questioning
Yeah.
and self-reflection.
Okay.
Think of it like becoming a detective
Okay.
in your own life.
Yeah.
You're searching for clues about your authentic self,
Uh-huh.
digging beneath the surface
Right.
of those ingrained beliefs and behaviors
Yeah.
to uncover what's truly driving you.
I remember when I first started meditating regularly, it was like all these thoughts and emotions I had been suppressing
Wow.
started bubbling up to the surface.
Yeah.
It was intense, but it also helped me understand myself better.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Your self-discovery can be a challenging process.
Right.
But it's ultimately about taking ownership of your life instead of blindly following the script society has handed you.
Right.
You start writing your own story.
But society doesn't necessarily want us to be like free-thinking individuals, right?
Well, a society full of people who constantly question the status quo.
Yeah.
can be difficult to control.
Okay.
It's much easier to govern a population that accepts things as they are
Mm-hmm.
and follows the prescribed path. We see this reflected in education systems,
Yeah.
media, and even religious institutions.
That reminds me of how we're taught to fear uncertainty.
Right.
Like it's something to be avoided at all costs.
Exactly. But what if uncertainty is actually the key to breaking free from those limitations?
Oh.
What if those moments when we feel lost and unsure
Yeah.
are actually opportunities for growth
Right.
and transformation?
The video draws a parallel between societal programming and the concept of the matrix.
Yeah.
It's like we're all plugged into this simulated reality that keeps us from seeing the truth.
That's a powerful analogy. Just like in the Matrix, we can be so caught up in the illusion of this constructed reality that we fail to see the bigger picture.
Right.
And waking up from that can be a jarring experience.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel like everything you thought you knew was a lie.
Wow.
But it also opens up a whole new world of possibility.
But doesn't the video argue that societal programming can limit our potential for happiness?
I'm sure.
I mean, don't some societal structures and norms can contribute to our sense of meaning and purpose?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's not about rejecting everything society teaches us.
Right.
It's more about discerning,
Exactly.
which influences are actually serving us and which ones might be holding us back.
Right. And this gets to the heart of what the video calls us to do.
Okay.
And that is to break free from those chains.
Yeah.
It actually uses pretty strong language saying, if you don't break free from this programming, you'll remain a prisoner, a slave to a system that never allowed you free.
Okay, so that's pretty intense, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's a call to reclaim our agency, to stop letting these external forces
dictate how we live our lives.
Exactly.
But how do we actually do that? There's not like a simple one-size-fits-all solution, is there?
No, it's not about following a set of instructions or anything like that. It's more about making a conscious commitment to live authentically.
Right.
So, think about your own life.
Uh-huh.
Are there any chains, so to speak?
Yeah.
Whether they're beliefs, fears, expectations that are holding you back.
Okay.
And what would it mean for you to break free from those limitations?
It's almost like we need to unlearn so much of what we've been taught to really discover who we are.
In a way, yes, we need to question everything and decide for ourselves what truly resonates with our values and aspirations.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to define success, happiness, and purpose on our own terms.
So after this deep dive, into societal programming and true identity, what's the one thing you really hope listeners take away from?
I hope they remember this. You are not who you've been told you are. You are not limited by the expectations of others.
Okay.
You have the power to create your own path, to live a life that is truly aligned with your authentic self.
Right.
And it starts with questioning everything.
That's a really empowering message.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we all have the potential for something truly extraordinary.
Absolutely.
If we're willing to break free from those limitations.
And I would add one more thing.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of the journey.
Right.
Self-discovery is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. It's not always comfortable.
Right.
But it is incredibly rewarding.
Yeah.
So embrace the uncertainty. Be curious and keep exploring. You never know what you might discover about yourself along the way.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And to everyone listening, keep questioning, keep exploring.
Breaking those chains.
And we'll see you next time.